Welcome to contract training. This is going to be a really brief training for you guys. It's going to basically be going over in under 5 minutes how to explain the contract to the customer and so they understand what they're going to be signing. Always make sure to give the customer an opportunity to read. You do not want them to be signing blindly. So they are allowed to read their agreement before moving forward. This is us giving them the rundown of it and reading it with them so that they understand what each section means and what they're going to be initialing and signing. So it's always a good idea to do it before they start initialing or before they start signing anything. So that way if any questions come up, they can be answered beforehand. There will be a downloadable attachment on right below before the test so that you can download that and get to know this agreement. You have to know what you're talking about when you go sit down with the customer. So watch the next two videos after this one. It's a two-part video, the first half of the loan and the second half of the loan. And as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Happy selling. So your APR is going to be 5.99%. The finance charge is the 18047.85, and you have your finance amount that we agreed to, which means the total of payments would be 42,329 if you went all 20 years of the actual term itself, which shows right here. You may prepay the loan at any point in time so that anything you paid up until that day, you'll save some money on that finance charge if you pay it off early. So it talks about security interest, which we'll go into more detail here in a minute, and then late charges. So if you are late, you do have a 15-day grace period, but they can charge you $25 or 3% not to exceed $50 if you're going to be late. So it shows you right here they do give you that grace period, so make sure that you are in communication with them if that's ever going to happen. In security, it's talking about the actual panels, which is the collateral. It doesn't mean your house. So when it says property on security, they're not talking about your home. There is a principal loan amount. This agreement works like everything else that you've signed as far as agreements go, like with your house and your car. There's a principal loan amount. There's a promise to pay that on the payment schedule, which is usually on the 17th. The interest is on the loan, and you promise to go by the payment schedule. Part of the payment schedule is that first 16 months, and then they're going to re-amortize the loan if you put that 30% down payment in there. In this case, it's going to be the $72.85. Once that's done, it's going to lower that payment. So I wanted to show you that because right here, your first 16 payments are the 121.21. Estimated start date's the May 17th, and then we're looking at the rest of the payments at the 180.31 if you didn't put the 30% back down in the reamortization time. So if you put that back in, we have an addendum. It'll show you how much that'll be here in a moment, and that'll start around September 2019 on that one for you. So on this next page, it talks about payment and loan transfer. You can transfer this loan over to the new homeowner if you do decide to sell the house. It goes into the late charges, prepayment or return payment fee, and again, communication is key. So if you do need to be late, make sure you contact them before so they don't draw it out and it bounces back. They do require that you have insurance on the panels, so make sure you let your insurance company know when the system installs. And here's the security interest portion of it, talking about the panels being the security interest, not your property. And there's a security interest. Now it is a non-fixtured collateral, which means that it is going as a secured loan. We're looking to protect and maintain that collateral just like we talked about, so don't be going up there with hammers to try to get free panels. It doesn't work that way. And then inspection and access. Inspection and access is going to be important. We will let you know at least 2 days in advance that we need to come out. And so you don't have to be home. We typically don't need access to inside the home. We're just going to need access to utility boxes and to the roof. So make sure pets are put away and all locks are taken off when we come out. Now, the borrower covenants and representation talks about just making sure that you acknowledge that we've gone through this with you. We are not brokers, and we did not give you tax advice. We just told you kind of how the tax credits work, but we didn't give you tax advice in your specific situation. And if it does go into default and you don't pay the loan, then you're looking for it to go into repossession, and it goes just along that with the attorney's fees and all that other good stuff. So try to avoid that. And then here's the important part we talked about. Because of the security interest, it mentions property. So a buyer acknowledges the property is subject to security interest. By giving us the security interest in the property described, you waive all rights protected or provided by law to claim the property exempt from legal process. This means the panels, not your house. And then as far as any disputes, make sure that the borrower and lender waive the rights to the jury trial or any claim and cause any extra space arising in the agreement. So it's going through the actual process and making sure that we're getting everything done. Okay. As far as the right of rescission, you have a 3-day right of rescission. If you guys, felt you were forced into it or didn't want to get what you're actually getting today, so you do have that rescission period there available for you as well. This is the ACH consent form, and then you will have another part here for you to fill out. And then here's that payment schedule. Exhibit A shows that if you didn't put that 30% down within the first 16 months, it goes to the 180. And if you did, then it goes to the 126.22. And it's only a couple dollars more from right there. And then you will notice that on the proposal, it shows that if you put the $1,000, it's a little bit less. So every $1,000 you put on top of it can go towards that incentive investment so that you can lower your monthly payment. So if you want to put an additional down payment, you can do it during that period of time.